we're not as mobile. So you can, and well, Jessica being a great model because she's showing the two ways that you can sit. So either sort of like a cross-legged, or like just like she's sitting sort of in a kneel position with a block underneath. So whatever's comfortable, find yourself in a sort of a comfortable position that you feel like you can sort of not worry about how you feel, like that something's uncomfortable, but that you can sort of relax in this. So the seated position is of course meant to sort of ground us, but it's not just like you're just sitting there like we sit in a chair. You know, when we all sit in chairs, they're all comfortable, we're all sagging, they have a back. The whole point here is that it reminds us that we sort of have some discipline with the posture. So let's close our eyes. Bring your hands onto your knees and press your shoulder blades gently into your spine. Open your chest. And just begin to breathe and rinse out sort of maybe thoughts and things that have busied your mind during the week. Or maybe for our European friends, things that have happened during the day that just sort of begin to clutter your mind. Just begin to bring some clarity and clearness. Realize that at this moment, there's only your breath, how you feel, how open you are, and your connection with the things that are around you. And the more open we are inside and free and relaxed, the more open we are to receive. So take this opportunity to use your body, your breath, begin to elongate your breath and begin to bring attention to your breath. So we like to have different breathing techniques in yoga. We sort of do more of a relaxed, open mouth kind of a breath, or more forceful breath through your nose. In through your nose, out through your nose. Let that breath scrape against the back of your throat. Tilt your chin just a little bit towards your chest. You'll feel your engagement of your abs. Pull the crown of your head towards the ceiling. And let's then begin to bring some movement with our breath. So we allow our breath to lead us. Inhale, hands come up and reach. Exhale, make big circles with your hands. Your fingertips are all wide open and make a big circle and just bring some mobility into your shoulder. Inhale, hands up. Don't be afraid to make your breath heard. Exhale, wind it down. Inhale, hands up. Reach, reach, reach. Exhale, one more big circle. Hands on your knees. Inhale your shoulders up towards your ears. Exhale, circles with your shoulders. Inhale, shoulders to your ears. Exhale, big circle as you make a big circle with your shoulders and come back down. Inhale one more time, shoulders to ears. Exhale. And don't be afraid to exaggerate a little bit. Now we're going to bring some mobility to our neck. Inhale the crown of your head up. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, head up. Exhale, open your throat and extend your neck. Bring your head back, bring your gaze up. Inhale, back up to neutral. Inhale your head, crown your head up, bringing length to your spine, and then exhale as you make big circles with your neck. Just do this gently, really gently. You don't want to overdo it. We're starting to move, lubricate the body, and then change directions. Inhale, hands up. And then just with your back as sort of flat as it can be, so try not to run through it, just sort of lean forward like you're reaching forward. So like reach with your chin, like you're reaching with your chin. You're reaching to receive, and then just reach as far as you can. If you can go all the way down, go all the way down. And really reach. And you should be bringing length to your side as you're reaching. And then walk your hands slowly, walk them back. Just walk them back gently. You're just assisting your body, so you can assist your body. It's good to always assist yourselves. I don't know if people do that during the day. Always learn this, how to assist your body to avoid injury. So we'll do a little spinal twist, okay? So we can stay either here in the seated position. So, so Cristy will show a full version of a spinal twist. So you can just be here seated, okay? And then just bring your right hand over your left knee, and then bring your gaze over that left shoulder. This is a general spinal twist. You can also extend your leg and cross one of the legs over like Christy's doing to do a sort of more full expression of this pose. So just a little general spinal twist. And come back to neutral. And then let's do the other side. And then when you're doing this, we're not slouched, right? We're actually open our chest, because the whole point of yoga is you're breathing with movement. So you have to open yourself up to breathe. So you're opening up. That's the key. So if you can only turn here, that's all you can turn, because you don't want to be doing this. You want to be doing this. So your chin is up, your gaze is a little bit up, the crown of your head is up. And then what you'll find as you do poses is as you move with your breath and as you exhale, you relax just a little bit. Your muscles relax, your nervous tissue relaxes, and you're able to do just a little bit more. So as we're doing our poses in our practice, we want to use our breath to sort of move us gently just a little bit more, like a gentle massage. And then come back up to neutral. So, and then now let's find ourselves in a tabletop. If everyone can find themselves in a tabletop. Tabletop is shoulders stacked over hands, hips over knees. And if you need something to put like over your knees, under your knees, to make them more comfortable, do that. Open your fingers, and you can either be on the tops of your feet, or you can, tuck your toes, whatever feels comfortable for you today, okay? So we're gonna do a couple of, start off with a couple cat-cows, and again, just move with, again, trying to keep your position the way it is. So when we're in this position, engage your abdomen, so pull your belly button in a little bit, and your neck is nice and neutral, so it's not hyperextended. And then we gently look up and bring our bottom up, and then push the mat away, suck your belly button in, and bring your chin to your chest. And do 3 with your own breath. So you inhale looking up, exhale looking down. Inhale looking up. Down between your legs. Inhale, look up. Now, just everybody, whoever has those toes tucked, just bring your feet, tops of your feet, and then just shift back into a child's pose, okay? And then we're going to reach forward, okay? For folks that already sort of have full expression, Cristy will show what you can do with this modified version. You're going to shift forward and bring your hips down for this modified. This is upward dog. Okay, so you're just going to work with your breath and shift forward. And let's do this 5 times with our breath. And so when you're up in this position, your gaze is up, you're opening your chest. And go slow. And if you need to put a block where your forehead would land to give you a little bit of, so people always rest that head when you're down here, to give them support, or you can put that block back here where your hips are. And you can gain some height there. So I have a block under my hips. And then when we're all done, after we're 5, find yourself in your tabletop. We're in tabletop. For those that want to just move through a little vinyasa and go through a down dog at this time, that's fine. For those that want to skip that, so if you go to the down dog, do the down dog. If you don't want to, then go ahead and step your right foot forward to your right hand. Okay, and we're going to do a low lunge, okay, but we're going to open up in our hips. Okay, so in this pose, it can be in two different ways that you can approach this pose. You can just do this where everything's at 90 degrees, okay? And then this is like a low lunge, okay? Or you can actually, Christy's showing, you can do a little bit more by bringing that knee back and you bring that foot forward, and that opens up this, your inner thighs. And so okay, so that's low lunge, okay? So this is low lunge, and obviously when we lift this back leg up, that's high lunge, right? So this is low lunge. So we're taking low lunge here, and reach up and take 5 breaths. And again, as you breathe, you're doing something. You're not just going, I'm breathing. This is weird. You're actually breathing and just paying attention to how your body feels and saying, can I go forward a little bit more? Can I open my chest a little bit more? Can I bring my legs back more? Can I bring my gaze up more? Can I spread my fingertips? Can I feel light? Can I feel the crown of my head going towards the ceiling as I breathe? That's what you're doing. A couple more breaths here. And then bring your hands down. Okay. And this is a nice opportunity to do a lot of things we can do here, but right now we're just going to do a runner stretch, which is what Christy's doing. You can bring up, now for those that have sort of hamstring issues, you just might go here. You might just bring a block here, to support you in the back, okay? But the idea is to do a little stretch and then stretch our hamstrings, especially for our runners in the group. I know there's a little dynamo runner. And then you can grab your left hand and cross it over to the outer edge of your right foot to get a little bit more in that stretch. Just a little bit of a twist and dip lower. How's that feel, Kimberly? Feel good?
She's on mute.
Yeah. Are you muted? Kimberly's on.
A thumbs up.
Oh. And take a couple breaths there. Okay, shift forward. And then bring that foot gently and mindfully. And again, you may find yourself having to just go back to tabletop. So we're back to tabletop. So I'm going to invite folks to be either in tabletop here, or some folks that have been to Christy's class can shift into a down dog and then shift into a plank. Okay? Okay, so you can shift, take a little vinyasa, downward dog, right, or in tabletop. We have 2 sides of our body. So we always do the other side. Step the left foot forward. Okay, and then rise up. And you rise up to your low lunge, and then take your 5 breaths. And then again, with your breath, open your chest, gaze up, and take those micro movements with your breath. Spark your fingertips, open your mind, and then we can all meet back and bring our hands back down, and then do the runner stretch on the other side. And shift forward. And then we can either take a downward dog and plank. We invite folks that have already done this to be taking their planks. So if Christy's doing the full expression, the other folks are on tabletop. And so I would invite the people on tabletop to take two cat cows, and then the people that are on plank to go to downward dog and then back into plank. And slowly working with your breath. Okay, We're all going to meet in downward dog. So those in tabletop are going to transition to downward dog. If you have hamstring issues, the idea is keep your back flat. And if this is all your dog is, it's like this. Like so you bend your knees and maybe walk your hands forward, or maybe your hands are on the block. You know, if you have 2 blocks. But you're in downward dog. So we're gonna all meet in downward dog. And inhaling our hips up, exhaling our heels down, spreading your fingertips. So if you need to bend your knees, bend your knees. If you need to shorten your dog, you can just be like that. That's fine. And then what we're going to do is walk our feet to the front of the mat. Your feet should be about hip distance apart. You can soften your knees, let your chest rest on your thighs and just hang. Grab opposite hand, opposite elbow, and just roll back and forth. Just being very kind to your lower back that we tend to be very unkind to throughout the day and throughout the week. Let your forehead totally hang, let gravity just do its job. Put your hands on the mat or on the block. Toe heel feet together. So you bring your feet together. You have a big, big bend in your knees. Your back is flat, and then you're just pushing up. And so like we started our practice on the mat, we'll just bring length to our vertebrae. This is an opportunity to work against aging, compressed vertebral discs. Let's work against it. Let's say, no, you're not going to shrink. I'm not going to shrink. I'm going to rise, reach. Exhale, hands to heart center. Close your eyes. Start to sort of notice your ankles and your knees. How grounded are you? Notice your pelvis. Is it sagging? Are you just in a sag position, or are you sort of tucked in a little bit? Is your chest open? Is the crown of your head reaching as far up as possible? So you're helping your body. You're helping your bones and your muscles, which are constantly holding you up throughout the day. You're saying, I'm going to help you. I'm gonna lift. Use the breath to lift. Inhale and reach up one more time. This time, exhale and bend towards the right. So you feel a nice stretch on that left side. Your eyes are closed. Oh, this feels wonderful. If only we had time every morning to do this. Inhale, reach up. Every evening. Exhale, twist to the left. Good. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring your hands to a goalpost position like this, opening your chest. Holding your hands 90 degrees. Your fingers are all spread wide open. And then inhale yourself up like you're going to float. You're about to float. Exhale, open your chest, lean back. Open your throat. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to do a couple balancing poses, okay? We're going to do tree and eagle. I'm doing the modified, right?
You do the modified and I'll do the...
Cristy will do the full expression, I'll do the modified. So
you could be somewhere in between, right?
Exactly. So, and then it's okay to wobble with the poses. You'll see that I wobble. And you wobble one side more than others. That's the way it is. So in tree pose, you like to have your hands in heart center, okay? And then you just want to find your stability, see how you're stable, find how your hips feel. You're feeling good. And then again, working with your breath. You're trying to inhale, move that leg up. So you're bringing this foot. I'm doing modified. Christy's doing the floor. So bring that foot. You can just do a kickstand right here. That's your tree. Or it can be just like down here. Or you can just play back and forth. And the whole idea is to challenge yourself to be a little bit stable. And this is actually a great thing to do, like a lot, because as we get older, everything, all your proprioceptions, all the sort of the receptive elements in our bodies don't quite work as well. And so it's good to do balancing poses. So Christy's doing full tree. So once you're here, then you can bring your hands up. And then your gaze is forward. Now, if you really want to challenge, okay, and You don't grow if you don't challenge. Close your eyes. Now, Tommy and Alana are lucky because they got each other, because they can actually support one another. So sometimes we do. This is a supported tree. You extend your arms out and you support one another. I don't know if you can see it. You guys can do that. If you have somebody or if you have a wall, you can do that. And it's always good in life to get support. So we're in tree. And then we're going to take 5 breaths. And it's okay if you wobble out, then you get back in. And again, you're trying to find an equilibrium.
So Carol, think of your knee as going out to the side as opposed to forward. So think of it, even if you're modifying, the knee is going out towards if your right knee is bent towards your right hip, like you're taking that leg out to the side as opposed to forward.
Yes.
Good adjustment.
Good adjustment. That's good.
All right, honey, we've been here like 20 minutes.
And then come back down. Okay. So maybe just walk that out a little bit. Okay. And then let's do tree on the other side. So modified tree, like Cristy said, you're just opening that hip. So it's a hip opener, right? So it's just like 2 things in one, right? Or many things in one, actually. It's a balancing pose, a standing pose, and a hip opener because you're opening your leg to the side. And it ends up being actually a little bit easier. When you bring your foot, the higher you bring your foot, of course, it's easier to open your hip. When your foot's down here, okay, it's a little bit harder to do that. So your knee's going to be a little bit inward. So, and then rise up and take your few breaths here. If you need to challenge yourself, close your eyes, open your eyes. It's nice to close your eyes and maybe support yourself a little bit against the wall. Breathe and come back to heart center. Okay, now we're going to do eagle, which used to be probably still is my nemesis pose. Sort of a love-hate relationship. And so eagle is funky. So Cristy will show you full expression. You can do this with your arms. So the idea is you're going to challenge your mobility and flexibility in your arms. So you can just sit like this, where you're touching your forearms and touching your palms of your hands, or you bring your right arm underneath, okay, right arm underneath, and then bring your palms to touch, okay? And that's a little bit more challenging. So that's eagle arms, okay? And you can just stand here in your pose, or you can maybe just bring one leg and just cross it over to the front, and you just trying to balance it on one leg, okay? Or you can do what Cristy's doing, which is that you're sitting back and cross, and then you come down. So this is all you can do with your arms, and then just holding your leg up. Maybe just hold your leg up. That's all you do. So this is a modified. I'm doing modified.
So for those of you that are doing the full eagle, I'm not doing a crisscross right here like a figure 4. I'm trying to place the top of my thigh on top of the other and squeeze. Like you had a coin in between those 2 thighs and you were holding it in place. Elbows are at shoulder height, but my shoulders are pulling down. So that really requires me to squeeze the glutes, squeeze the core, engage through my whole back. So it's like you're one leg. Oh, this makes me warm just hearing
Yeah, and you're right. So that's Cristy did full expression. Again, this is an opportunity to try something different and to challenge yourself, you know? Okay, so when everyone's hopefully had a full expression of their eagle, or at least an attempt, and then come back to center, and then we get the opportunity to do the other side. And again, you can do what I'm doing, which is the modify, and you're just lifting one leg, or maybe you just cross your arms and you do this and lift one leg.
In this case, your left arm goes underneath your right, left leg on top.
Correct.
So left arm under right elbow, left leg on top, bend your right knee. Yeah. Eduardo thinks you guys are all pros and you need no direction. Just go, eagle.
I wish.
Fly. We're working on flying next week.
And again, modify just your forearms together, hands together, lifting your leg. So modified is just, again, just lifting your leg, or Where are we there? Okay. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, bring your hands to your hips, and then take a sort of a step to the side, right or left, wherever you are on your mat, whatever's going to center you on your mat. And we're just going to do some side-facing forward folds. So, find the idea here. Full expression is your head comes to a block or to the floor, which is what Cristy will do. Okay, and so you might need a wider stance, but if you don't have flexibility, maybe your stance is short. Okay, and the idea is keep your back flat. So you may stop right here. This may be it. So your bottom's out, and then you would challenge to sort of bring your hips in line with your heels. Okay, so I'm like doing a modified version here. I just have my, not very wide, and I'm sort of supporting myself with my hands. Or you do what Cristy's doing, okay?
For my students who we've been working on headstand for a long time, Jessica, I know you were working on that. If you want to practice your headstand, this is your opportunity, because you always work on your headstand when your heart rate is not elevated. So we're in this wide side facing forward fold. I don't have the confidence today to do it, but here we go. You could take your head down and work on that. Jessica, I'm really proud of you for working on that. Good job. For my regular yoga flow folks, you guys are probably like, what?
Yes. That's next week, guys.
That's next level, okay?
Goals. Always good to have goals.
Jessica, fantastic. You've come a long way with that. Looks really
And
good.
then for those that are in the forward fold, then what I'm going to ask you to do, okay, as much as you can do, is do a little side sort of lateral lunge, as much as you feel comfortable. So Cristy will go into the full lunge, and you can do a couple things. You just may walk your hands over, and that's sort of as much as you stretch, where you may actually try to bring your knee and just support yourself on the block. And you're trying to actually stretch those inner hip flexors in here. And do that gently.
So if you were looking for if the stretch is okay and you want the core challenge, you can take your hands to heart center and try to rotate back and forth. Good, Marco. You got to really recruit those glutes, recruit your core, keep your chest up, go from side to side. Or you could use your hands and give yourself a little push. Good, Kimberly. Good, Chris.
Okay, and when we're ready, we're going to find ourselves back in a neutral position. Again, your hands can be on your hips, and then I'd like you this time to sort of exaggerate, bring your crown of your head forward and your bottom sort of back, and then just rise up. So you rise it up just with your abs. Super. And then step to the front of your mat. Okay. So for Carol's new, we're just going to go through one vinyasa, okay? And just so everybody can just bring some movement and some heat. So Cristy will show the full expression of the vinyasa. I'll show the modified version. Inhale, hands up, forward, fold. Okay? And then you inhale, bring your hands to your shins, and then lengthen the crown of your head, flatten your back, bring your bottom out, press your shoulder blades in. That's a halfway lift. And then we're gonna bend to our knees and either come to tabletop. You just might come into this, like a tabletop, and stay in tabletop, that's all you do. But Cristy's doing the full expression. You actually come down to a plank, go into a low plank, up dog, down dog. So that's called a vinyasa, a flow, just a series of movements.
Time, honey.
Okay, so inhale those hips up. You can be in a modified downward dog, and then walk your hands forward or jump forward. Rise up the mountain. Fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale. Either take tabletop and stay there, or take a plank, or drop to your knees. Now, tabletop is the easiest. A modified plank is you just drop your knees in that plank position. Low plank, tucking those elbows. Inhale, up dog, opening your chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. Practice makes perfect. We'll do one more. Inhaling those hips up.
My families who've been coming, try to jump, bend your knees, look forward, take that little hop. There you go.
Rise up the mountain, reach, bring length. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Reach out, exhale. Come down to your top or modified. Come all the way down. On the top of your feet are together, okay? They're together, push up, upward dog. Feel it in your lower back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Last one. Inhaling those hips up. Big step forward or hop. Rising up to mountain, reaching. Fingertips are spark. And fold forward. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling down to the mat. Plank. All the way down to low plank. Clean up, upward dog. Exhaling back downward facing dog. Super guys.
Good job.
Okay, everybody now drop your knees to the mat and touch your toes. So you're like in a triangle here. And then you're in a child's pose. You might benefit from a block or a cushion on those hips. So your knees are wide, your toes are touched, like in a triangle, your chest is in the middle. And you're just trying to bring your chest and forehead down and reach forward with your arms. And take a few breaths here. And then find yourself back in a tabletop, guys. And because, even though this is a gentle flow class, I can't help myself. We're going to have just a mini ab thing. It's just a doctor in me. Okay, so everybody find yourself in a seated position. I was talking to Cristy, said, what should we do for like a simple ab thing? Carol had you in mind. Good. So we came up with just doing scissors. I tend to be a maniacal person with abs. So so find yourself on your back. Okay, I will do the modified and Cristy will do the full.
I know you're dying to do the full. Do you want to do the full?
No, you do the full.
Okay.
So the modified, we're on our back. Our hands are beside us. Our hands could also be underneath your bottom a little bit, sometimes to give you some support. You could also put a little blanket under your bottom there. That gives you a little bit of support there. So I want you to be comfortable here. And the idea is you're going to keep your lower back on the mat, okay? So Christy's doing the full version. I'm just going to do, so you're going to keep your back low, your lower back on the mat, and you're pulling your belly button in a little bit, and your shoulders can rest on the mat. But Christy's lifting them because she's doing full expression. And you can just keep your legs like this, and you can just do 1, 2. So all I'm doing, so your knees are bent, you're just alternating. That's the modified. Christy's doing the full where she's raised up and she's going back and forth.
I'm pointing my toes and my knees are straight while I'm reaching through my fingers and lifting my shoulders. So you could be in between what Eduardo's doing and what I'm doing.
Okay, like this. Okay, so once we all feel comfortable and we know, okay, I can do this. And I challenge folks to do a little bit more. You might say, oh, well, I can extend my legs a little bit, or I'll do 1 or 2 and then I come back. So just challenge yourself. And so, what's today? Today is July 18th, so we can do 18 of them. Okay, 18. So here we go. Cristy, count us off.
Okay, 1. Each side counts as 1. 2, 3, 4. Hold your gaze, open your eyes. 6. Point your toes if you have your legs straight. 8, 9. Don't give up. 10, 11, 12, 13. Breathe. 14.
bring your knees to your chest and sort of rock back and forth. Good. Bring your feet down to the mat, okay? Bring the soles of your feet together in the Supta Baddha Konasana is what we call this. So you have your feet together. If this is too much, you might lengthen. So maybe your heels are not near your bottoms. They're maybe legs are stretched out and you're just opening up. You're just opening up your inner thighs, okay? And then bring one hand to your heart and one to your belly. And then again, using your breath, letting your breath bring an openness to your legs as they open, as they settle, as you settle. Then bring your knees to touch, knees to your chest. Grab your toes with your peace finger. Okay? Grabbing your big toes with your peace finger. And just take a little happy baby. And you might have a big bend in your knee, just like I do now. And maybe your knees are closer in to the midline, or maybe Christy's doing a full expression, they're open all the way. And you're just rocking back and forth. So do what's comfortable, and you may find yourself just sort of just exploring. So don't be afraid. The other thing is, even though if you go any class you take in yoga, wherever you are, it's your journey, it's your practice. So explore and oh, this is neat. I haven't done that. Whoa, that's pretty cool. So just try things. And so allow yourself to be a little playful. Because this is definitely not serious. And if you watched us right now, all of us doing this pose, it would look a little funny, I think, to other people. Okay. Great. Okay, bring our feet back down on the mat. Okay. We're going to do a reclined pigeon. Okay. Reclined pigeon. When you hear the word pigeon in yoga, that means opening up your hips. It's just, obviously a pigeon's a pigeon. I'm not sure why they name it that way, but there's different pigeons, and there's half pigeon, full pigeon, reclined pigeon, standing seated pigeon. There's a bunch of them. So we're going to do a reclined pigeon.
Why don't I model the full pigeon for anybody who wants to do that?
Yes, that's a good idea. So
okay.
Christy is going to do the full expression of pigeon. To get into it, you can get into it from tabletop or downward dog, and Christy's going to show you that. And then I'm going to show the modified version, okay? So for those that want to do Christy's version, you can do that. My version is you're laying on your back and you're just bringing your right foot over your left thigh. So you got a figure four, and that could be it. And you can just work that knee out and opening up that hip. But again, you need to let loose, you need to relax, you need to allow your breath to release that tension. We have so much tension in our hips. You need to release that. You have to be like, don't be afraid, let it all go. So you have to release it. You'll find that you're very tense when you're doing these, and if you relax your belly, relax everything in that pelvic area, and you can open up your hips. So in the reclined pigeon, you can just stay here and just work that knee outward, that right knee outward, or you can also thread your hands through that figure four, clasping your shin, your left shin, and bringing that foot towards your chest. So you can do that, okay? So this is a way for you to get to know how your hips work. And take a few breaths here. And then bring that foot down and full expression pigeon, maybe come out, rise up into your downward dog. For those that are modified, doing what I'm doing, work on the other side. So bring your left knee towards your chest and gently guide that left foot over onto the right thigh. And then you'll find one side is very different from the other. You can stay here, or again, just work that knee outward, exploring how you feel, using each breath to let go, releasing that tension. When you can thread your hands through that figure four, flex your foot, okay, so you're active, we're not passive, so both feet are flexed. So if you're a reclined pigeon like I am, that foot is flexed. Okay, taking a couple breaths here. Good. And then gently rise up, full pigeons. Reclined pigeons, bring your legs down. I don't know if I mentioned to everybody at the beginning, but we were going to use our straps. So find your strap, your scarf, your belt, or if you don't have that, then you just use your hands. And we're going to do some stretches with our strap. So if you have your strap by your hand, bring your knees to your chest, extend the right leg out, left leg out, and put the strap around your right foot. And the goal with these stretches is hamstrings right now. Okay, so your leg is straight. And so if you don't have good hamstring mobility, you're just not going to bring the ankle so acutely. So you may just stay right here with the strap and that's it. And that's a good stretch. Or you may be able to go all the way up, but you're trying to keep this leg straight. So if you're modifying, it's like this. I mean, you could be like this. This is it. And that's fine. That just gives you the opportunity to then get like this next time. Or like this next time. So wherever you are, straighten that leg and use a strap to guide that leg. Because you don't want that, you want the leg relaxed. You don't want to be like holding tension. So the purpose of the strap is to allow you to not do any work on that leg. So you just relax, challenging yourself to be relaxed while you're doing this. And then gently guide your knee towards your nose. And I like to grab the strap or the scarf with both hands and then just gently guide it. As you press your hamstrings outward, okay, so you keeping that leg flat. And take a couple breaths here. And then we're going to grab that strap with your left hand. You're going to reach out and make sure your left hand's pretty strong. And we're going to put the leg across, like Cristy showing across. And you may stop right here. That's it, because you're trying to get a stretch in your glutes right here. You may just stop right there, okay? Or Cristy's doing the full expression where she just crosses over and extends her right arm and her gaze over the right. So that's counterbalancing you. And then you can guide that knee towards that opposite ear. Again, it's good to try to keep good form and try not to feel pain. So if this is all you do, this is all you do. I may just come up to here, may just cross a little bit, and that's it. Or slowly allow gravity to do the work and come down lower. And eventually you just let that leg hang across, and your left elbow could be resting on the mat or the floor, and that leg is just hanging in a sling. And then slowly lift that leg back up to center. And now we have the opportunity to switch hands, keeping that leg straight, okay? And we can open, now we open, okay? And this one, I think you should go very slowly, because you can tear these little in here. So go really slow, okay? Keeping that leg straight. So again, it might be that you're down here. This is all you're doing, okay? I don't know if you all can see that, but basically, I can either bring that leg where it's like almost 90 degrees, or that it's basically at 45, 30 degrees. Just keep it straight. And then you would guide that knee to your ear. So you can be like I am right now. And then gently letting go, start working that knee towards the ear, keeping the leg straight and the foot flexed. Again, the foot is flexed. then gently guiding that leg back up the center, bringing that knee to your chest, and bringing the other knee into your chest, rocking back and forth. And then at your own pace, let's do the other side. Just wrap around your left foot, extend the right leg, extend the left leg. And again, if you're modified, that leg is just at 45 degrees, maybe a little more. And then gently guiding that knee to your nose. Carol, you have good flexibility there. That's great. Everyone seems to have great flexibility. That's wonderful. Okay. And then grabbing the strap with your your right arm and crossing it over. So these are called spinal twists. And then leg back to center. And then open up inside, let that leg hang to the side. Letting your hips open up, releasing that tension. Good job. And bringing that leg back up the center. Then losing that strap. And then squeezing those knees. And then I'm going to do something because we have a little bit of time, so that's good. I don't know if Christy's done this. Where's the block? So this is an opportunity. These are all sort of like, poses to release our tension, okay, and also bring some stretch. And so I'm going to invite folks that have been to Christy's class and done this before, to right now, to take the opportunity. You can do what's called a waterfall. Okay, so all you do, guys, is Christy's going to will show. We'll do waterfall, and then folks that want to can move into a shoulder stand. Okay, and so Christy will show the shoulder stand. The waterfall is basically your L. Your arms are beside you. Okay, your feet are flat, they're pointing towards the ceiling, and it's nice to tuck a block under your. This feels really nice. So you tuck the block under your hips, and you just sit here. And this is like a nice reclined pose to allow all the blood that tends to pull in our legs. It's amazing how much our veins dilate for folks that are, when you have extra weight and you're on your feet a lot, you see people with like red legs and they're a little swollen. That's all from the veins. Okay, this pose allows you to drain all that blood from your veins. It allows you to look at your toes. Guys don't tend to look at toes, so I never look at my toes, so I'm looking at my toes. So you're letting all the blood release, or you're doing what Christy's doing, which is a shoulder stand, and then you can move into, she can bring those feet down towards the mat. So that's sort of a recline inversion. It's like, modification of like a headstand, right? Shoulder stand. Good. And then those that are in the waterfall, what's called waterfall, release your block. Good. And then find yourself in the center of your mat, extending your arms above your head, and then bringing your legs to each corner of your mat, maybe like at 45 degrees. Reach up, reach. And then bring your hands as you exhale beside you for your final resting pose, which we call Shavasana, which is felt to be the most important pose. That's your true time of gratitude. Just allowing stillness to set in. Begin to wiggle your toes and wiggle your fingers. Appreciating that every movement, every pose has its purpose, has its opportunity, should I say. Begin to bring length to your breath, keeping your eyes closed. Extend your arms above your head, and then bring your knees to your chest and grab them with your left arm. Just hug them in. Your right arm is extended above you. Your knees are resting on your chest or your belly. And then roll to your right side. Your eyes are closed. And begin to bring some humility to your presence. And then slowly, with assistance, with your eyes closed, rise up to your seated position, keeping your eyes closed. Bring your hands to heart center. And as we bring in openness, I'll close with a quote from William Blake. It has to do with our perception. We're at a time where all of us really don't know what's ahead, how to make sense of some of the stuff that's in front of us. And so I thought that perception is important in how we perceive. And from one of his poems, he said, "To see a world in a grain of sand, or perhaps heaven in a wild flower. Imagine holding infinity in the palm of your hand. Or eternity in your heart." So see things for maybe a bigger purpose, right? Thank you for spending your morning or afternoon sharing it with others in openness, to be present, to do something new, something different. And the light in me honors the light in each one of you. Namaste, which is how we close the practice.
Namaste.
Hey, Carol, how did you do? Did you feel good?